You've always given way more credit to the Tigers than they're due, and it almost feels like you're letting your pity for them and your guilt for the Cleary debacle drive you to be more positive than you should be. That was a reply I got on Reddit from Velvethering when I expressed my disappointment with the Tigers after their loss to the Knights this weekend just gone. And they've hit their mark dead on. I can be quite sentimental after all.
I am not bald, I am balding. Oh, why will no one honor the ding?
I've always had a soft spot for the West Tigers, going back to watching Benji and Farah in their prime. Then, in more recent times, their widely publicised lack of success, which, right or wrong in no small part, has been attributed to my own club's current coach, has really made me feel a deep sympathy for the Tigers fan base. And yes, I know the game is built on tribalism, but for me, that only extends to the 80 minutes on field and wanting the Panthers roster to be as good as possible under the salary cap. I truly believe a top-tier comp with strong clubs off the field that fans are happy with, where wins and losses come after two great teams give it 110%, is best for the comp overall, and therefore best for my own team in the long run. I really hate that roster mismanagement and just general ineptitude in everything football department related is bringing down a club's supporters so much.
Oh no! We suck again!
Put simply, the fans and the competition deserve better.
You've got to do better.
Of course, all the discussion will be about Madge and how long until he gets sacked. It's just the NRL way, and the Tigers are no stranger to cycling through new coaches. But the solution is just not that simple, and I don't believe anyone outside of clickbait headline writers thinks it is. If anything, starting again with a head coach is going to set you back a minimum of 2 to 3 years, as the new coach builds a roster that they're happy with and gets that roster playing a style of football that is wanted week in and week out. No, I think you have to stick it out with Madge, and the players need to start being made more accountable. But not only in the media, who like to hyper-focus on Luke Brooks and Michael Maguire like some kind of creepy stalker hex, but also to themselves, which is something we can see is most definitely not happening when you have players like Tyrone Peachey, for example, in round 2 versus the Knights, having the time of his life, playing terribly and giving away ridiculous penalties, made even worse by the fact that he's one of the most experienced amongst the Tigers roster, having played 9 seasons in the NRL, and he was made part of the 5-man captaincy group, which means he should absolutely be leading by example. Then there's the fact that they simply can't back up a good game, and winning 2 in a row is a big deal for the club, which only happened twice in 2021 and once in 2020. And that's not to mention how much of a massive feat it would be to win 3 in a row, which hasn't happened since rounds 4, 5 and 6 in 2018 when, ironically, Ivan Cleary was the head coach. And they had one of their better years in recent memory, ending with 12 wins, which would have been enough for a final spot most years, but for the 8th place Warriors, having an unusual 15 wins in what was a relatively top-heavy comp. For comparison, in 2017, the Cowboys had 13 wins when the competition had 26 rounds played instead of 25, and in 2019, the Broncos had 11 wins, which is closer to the normal for making the 8th spot over the last 5 years. But I digress.
Get on with it! Yes! Get on with it!
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it!
The point I'm driving at is that the systems being coached at the club can succeed and compete with the good teams, but the players can't or won't switch on mentally on a regular basis, demonstrated perfectly in round 6 2021 when the Tigers only narrowly lost to South in what was a great contest, decided in a fun golden point moment where both Tom Burgess and Luke Brooks score for their team and the bunker has to sort it all out after the fact.
Simple as that. Isn't that rocket science?
And how did they back up this high-tempo committed performance against the top 4 team who go on to feature in the grand final? They go and get absolutely spanked as the home team at Bankwest, 40-6 by Manly, all while looking completely disinterested in just about every part of the game and retreating in defence all day. They say defence is about attitude and that defence wins competitions. Well, until they switch on when that first whistle goes consistently, they'll be lucky not to win a spoon this year. And yes, I know the coach is the one ultimately accountable at the club, but the Tigers need on-field leaders desperately or this will never change. This was the purpose of signing a player like James Tarmo, but ultimately he didn't live up to that promise when going across from the Panthers and having a dramatically huge drop in form demonstrated perfectly by Average Joe03 on NRL Reddit, who did a stats dive into Tarmo's 2021 season, writing, "It's clear that his power in attack, half as many meters in tackle breaks, and efficiency in defense, over triple the amount of missed tackles, have dropped significantly this year while playing around 3 minutes less per game. Barely any missed tackles would have been a major drawing card for a Tigers side consistently showing up in defence. His yardage was great for an interchange forward, with his metres per minute being the best for any prop in 2020. It wasn't a terrible signing at all, and most of the media in this sub was very happy with it. Something in Tarmo's game has shifted dramatically this season. Let's look at his stats in comparison to other middle forwards for 2021. From an attacking standpoint, Tarmo has been quieter this season than Dylan Napa and Aaron Woods. Yep. To be fair, he hasn't missed nearly as many tackles as them, but he still has almost double the missed tackles as his teammate Alex Twal. Madge wants to create a professional environment with representative, premiership-winning players. Tarmo has been all these things in the past, but it seems that he is just that, a culture signing, who has brought nothing on field during the Tigers' 2021 campaign. Is it a fitness issue? Is Madge playing him wrong? Was he just playing for a contract last year? Or is the club just cursed to ruin good players? So that was the player they signed to be a leader and captain, to show them the way forward. Honestly, without trying to be mean-spirited, because I do believe he can rectify this, but it's a little embarrassing and the perfect example of the issues at the Tigers at the moment. Little side note, you'll also notice I haven't really mentioned Luke Brooks because there's been enough said already. Just go read the 100 articles or thousands of social media posts about the guy, so I'll leave it be. But to answer one of Average Joe's questions, of course, I don't think the club is cursed at all, but they do need a culture change, and badly. The players need to start being accountable to themselves and actually putting in some effort to get the job done. After all, it is a job. They aren't park footballers playing for a bit of fun, and Tigers fans who spend their time and money to support the club deserve better.
We can do better.
What do you think? Have I missed the mark here? Let me know in the comments what you think is going wrong and how they can fix it, or if you even think they can.